Okay, good morning or good afternoon. Today you're going to be doing Conic Sections Day 6. It's your last day of Conic Sections. You're going to be writing an equation of a horizontal or vertical hyperbola given a vertices and co-vertices, and your success criteria is to determine the center of the hyperbola using the midpoint formula, and also use the vertices to find A, co-vertices to find B, and determine the direction of the hyperbola to write the equation. None of this is new. This is exactly like doing the ellipse lesson, except today we're focusing on the fact that it's a hyperbola, not an ellipse. So once again, at the top right corner, if it says in your notes, you need to write this in your notes. Pause the video, write it down, press play when you're ready. All right, the directions say to write an equation for the following hyperbola with the given information. I gave you 2 vertices and 2 co-vertices. Step 1 is to find the center using the midpoint formula with the vertices or co-vertices. You know I like to use the vertices, it's just the first 2 points they gave us. So there's your midpoint formula from the prior lesson. Remember you got 5 as your x1, 0 as your y1, -5 as your x2, and 0 as your y2. You're going to start replacing 5 in for x1, -5 x2, 0 in for y1, and 0 in for y2. We're going to actually do the math now. So once again, I replace x1 with 5, x2 -5, y1 0, y2 0. Add these two together. 5 plus a -5 is 0. And 0 plus 0 is 0. Both of these are being divided by 2. So therefore, our center is 0, 0. At the bottom right, go ahead and write that somewhere. Center is 0, 0. Step 2 is to use the vertices to find A. If you remember, what we do is we write a rough sketch of this hyperbola. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to graph the center. Once again, the center was 0, 0. I graphed those. Now what I did is I graphed these 2 points. So I graphed the points 5, 0. So that means to go right 5, up and down 0, plotted that point, and then -5, 0. Left 5, plotted that point. Remember, the A is the distance from the center to one of the vertices. So I counted the center to one of the vertices was 5, therefore A is 5. We use that same process to do step 3, which is use the co-vertices to find B. So what I did is I plotted the co-vertices, which is 0, 2, and 0, -2. That's telling me to go up 2 and down 2. The distance from the center to the co-vertice is 2. So therefore B is 2. Step 4, determine the direction of the hyperbola to write the equation. Okay, so to determine the direction, what you need to remember is that the vertices right here is where the curved line is, okay? The vertices is where the curved line is. So that means that this is opening left and right. This is what that means. Remember, you've got horizontal and you've got vertical. So if it's opening left and right, it is a horizontal hyperbola. So this is what it would look like, and this is what I want you to draw in your notes too. Just draw a rough sketch of what it would look like. So now you can see it's pointing left and it's pointing right. So therefore, from your notes before, you're going to use the horizontal hyperbola. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that equation down. And remember, our center is 0, 0. That's my H and K, and we already found that A is 5 and B is 2. And we're going to start replacing. So we've got H I replaced with 0, K we replaced with 0, A replaced with 5, and B replaced with 2. Simplify. Remember, x minus 0, we just keep that as x squared. Y minus 0 is y, so that's y squared. 5 squared is 25, and 2 squared is 4. That is your final answer. One more example. Once again, in your notes, copy this down. Write an equation for the following hyperbola with the given information. I gave you 2 points for vertices and 2 points for co-vertices. Pretend there's a parenthesis right there. There's a typo. All right, step 1 is exactly the same. We're going to use the midpoint formula. So once again, you've got your x1 and your y1, your x2 and your y2. Plug it in. When you plug it in, it should look like this. We got x1, -9, x2, -9. y1 3 and y2 -5. -9 plus a -9 is a -18. And 3 plus a -5 is a -2. Now we divide these by 2. -8 divided by 2 is -9. -2 divided by 2 is -1. This is my center. Now we got to use the vertices to find A, so doing a rough sketch. Once again, we got to first plot our center, okay? Our center is -9, -1. So what I did is I went left 9 and then down 1. Now we got to plot our vertices. So our vertices are -9, 3. So I went left 9, up 3, and then -9, -5. Left 9, down 5. Remember, the letter A is the distance from the center to the vertice. So I had to count what that distance was. As you can see, I counted and it was 4. That means A is 4. We use that same process to find the co-vertices. So we're going to use the co-vertices to find B. So once again, I plotted the 2 points. We got 1, -1, so I started at 0, 0, right 1, down 1. And then we've got -19, -1. I did not feel like counting left 19, so I just did a rough sketch. I went left a lot and then down 1. Again, the distance from the center to the co-vertice is B. So I counted the distance. It was 10 ticks in between. Therefore, B is 10. All right, so down here at the bottom right, we got all the information that we need. Center is -9, 1. Remember, that's your H and your K. And then A is 4 and B is 10. Now we got to determine which equation we're going to use by looking at our graph. Remember, this time in our navy blue, this was our vertices. So this is where our curved line is. Our curved line goes here, and our curved line goes here. So therefore, it's pointing up and down. If it's pointing up and down, it is then vertical. So once again, you're going to refer back to the notes from the day before, and we're going to use the vertical equation. All right, and then we're going to, once again, we're going to replace H, K, A, and B with the numbers, which is what I did here. K replaced -1, H -9, A is 4, and B is 10. And then notice that we have pluses here now. That's because it says Y minus a negative. When we have minus a negative, that becomes a plus. Same thing happened here. Minus a negative became a plus. And that is completely simplified, so that is your answer. Your assignment is to go back to the lesson folder in Schoology and complete assignment called Conic Sections Day 6. It's only 2 questions. Complete it on a separate sheet of paper. Take a picture of your work with your name on it and submit it as an assignment. If you have any questions, feel free to write me on Schoology. Also remember, I have office hours every day from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock on Microsoft Teams. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.